Check. 1, 2. Put it on there. All right, all right. Go ahead. Go ahead. They can't see you. Yep, yep. That's, that's, all right, all right, all right, all right. I know if you are on YouTube and if you're on YouTube or Facebook, you cannot hear the music. But that was 702 for your listening pleasure. Listen, listen, listen. Tonight, got a good one for y'all. We're gonna get in, and in a minute, I want y'all to know where is Myanmar? Wow, that's amazing. Thank you for joining me. Is that one of the islands? Yeah, good, 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 y'all. Y'all, we got something good tonight. And tonight we're going to talk about how do you avoid April? April is one of my students who has become a coach, y'all. And for those of y'all, because look, I can't coach everybody. Me and Rose can't coach everybody, but I'm going to start recommending coaches because of what they do and how they operate. And they came through my school. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So anyway, I I want to know in a minute. We're gonna get it. We're gonna find out where you calling from. And tonight I'm super excited because tonight I'm gonna set some people free. Free. So we're gonna talk about where you're from, and we're gonna talk about I want your name and everything so that I can properly acknowledge you. So if you would give me your name and where you're checking in from, and I can properly acknowledge you. Chris from the DMV area. For those of you who don't know, that's the Maryland, Virginia area district. Maryland, Virginia area. Hey, so anybody else and where you're checking in from, let me know so I can properly acknowledge you because so you could be anywhere. We got Lisa from NYC. We got Kim from Philly in the building. M. Gabriel from North Carolina. Peace and love. What's good? All right. We got Mila. Is that Mila or Mila? Mila from Vegas in the building. Miss J from SoCal in the building. D from Florida. DST Swan from Baltimore. Leela from Maine in the building. Carla from Houston in the building. My girl April from Houston in the building. Yes, yes, yes. 55 from Orlando. Jennifer from New Jersey. What part of New Jersey? Tammy from Austin, Texas. Dr. Angel from Tampa, Florida in the building. DST said, what we doing tonight? I got you, DST. Beth from New York in the building. Anybody else in the building that would care to share? Delicious Tales from New York. Delicious Tales. I'm not even commenting on that one. New York in the building. Joyful Jenny from South Jersey in the building. All right. Now, so what we doing tonight? So tonight, y'all know I always have a story, right? And a lot of times, see, I don't have to make up stuff. Yeah, I've been coaching so long and I've been helping so many people. I don't have to make up stuff because the stuff that I'm talking about is real. But so tonight we're going to talk about one of my clients. I help a lot of my clients get through situations, y'all. Like they text me because can we be honest? Things happen in real time. And in real time, you don't know what to say, how to respond, how to react. You don't know what to do. And so a lot of times, if you are my client, if you are my student, you can call me. And if I'm available, even if I'm not available, I'm coaching, I'm filming a TV show, I'm filming content, whatever. But as soon as I get finished, I'm calling you. And we work through everything in real time. And so that is the difference between me and some therapist that you might have or another coach. You can't call them at 10 o'clock at night. And for the most part, most of my clients don't call me at that time either, unless something going on is traumatic and they need to have answers quick. That could be the difference between life or death. It could be the difference between you doing something cuckoo crazy that you will regret the rest of your life rather than just texting coach and say, Coach, let me talk. So I've had couples to do that. Now, why do I say that? Because today I got one of those calls. Okay. Now, if you become my clients, if you were my client, you would have access to me like that. If you're not my client, you do not have access to me like that. But if you are, you have access to me. And I know for a fact, if you hit me like that, it's that serious. All right. And I want to give y'all just a little context of it. My brother, rest his soul, he's no longer with us. But one day, this is how I knew I was destined to do what I do. My brother called me one day and he wanted to not be here anymore. I don't want to say it because, algorithms and whatnot. He didn't want to be here anymore and he was about to leave. And I remember that day that I talked to him. I didn't have time to be nervous. I didn't have time to be scared. I simply did what came natural to me. I began talking to him in a way that literally changed the trajectory of everything he was going through. Instead of deciding to leave, he decided to stay. And he's no longer with us now, but that's not why he's not with us. But he was going through some emotional and mental things. Mental health is really real, y'all. And what I will say to all of you, don't be afraid. Get you a coach, get you a therapist, get in my academy because I got love sisters who've been trained to talk to you. Now, not trained to give you therapy, but in a sense, it is therapy. But y'all, some of us just suffer in silence. And the truth is, there is somebody out there who has either gone through what you've gone through or going through what you're going through. And what I'm saying to you is that there is a ram in the bush. See, in the Bible, God talks about Abraham, and Abraham was willing to sacrifice his son. But God said, hey, stay your hand, Abraham. I have a ram in the bush. And sometimes that ram in the bush that God sends, it might be a big dude that's wearing funny looking glasses, AKA Coach Ken. It might be another coach. It may be somebody you don't expect, but God will use anybody. He will use the least of us. God, thank you. And what he will do is God will perfect me. I'm an imperfect person, but he is perfecting me to do a perfect work. You see what I'm saying? See, I cannot, a lot of things that come out of my mouth, y'all. I was telling my wife this. A lot of things that come out of my mouth, a lot of things that I say, I don't even know where it came from. Now I know, but I'm like, how did I, how did I know that? How did I know that? Because now I am intuitive in the way that I coach people. And what I say, God says, look, you do the work. I'll work through you. You get the knowledge. I'll work through you. You go for years and helping people. I'll work through you. You just have to be a willing vessel. And so today, he used me to work through something with someone else. And at the end of me working through it, this emergency, if you will, and once everything was calmed down, I told the person I was talking to, my student, I said, "You're in a toxic relationship." And I said, "Let me explain to you what a toxic relationship is, because many of us don't know what a toxic relationship is." And I'm going to explain it as I do in a way, because a lot of times toxic doesn't look like, a lot of us think toxic relationships are when we fight all the time, we argue all the time. But no, that is not necessarily toxic. That might be toxic too, but that is not what I'm talking about. So I need y'all to listen up, because a lot of times you're in a toxic relationship and y'all ain't even arguing at all. You're not arguing at all. Thank you, John. You like my bookshelf? Man, so many people are coming. I've had it for so many years, and people love that bookshelf. I loved it when I got it. So what we're going to talk about is identifying if you're in a toxic relationship and what to do about it. Okay? So the first thing I want you to understand about toxic relationship, you must think of it differently than you thought of it before. A toxic relationship is anything that poisons your system. Now listen to what I'm saying. What do toxins do? Toxins poison you. And so a lot of times you are being poisoned by the relationship mentally. Sometimes you've been poisoned by the relationship emotionally. And then at the verse, you're poisoned physically. And so what happens is that when you're in a toxic relationship, the poisons that come from the relationship, that poison is begin altering your structure, your mental structure, your cellular structure, physically altering your emotional structure. That means that when you take poisons, y'all, it alters the chemical makeup in your body, and now it begins to destroy you. Okay. And so what we're going to talk about is the things that are destroying you, that are poisoning your being. Be it your emotional well-being, be it your mental well-being. Because a lot of times we're in relationships, but we don't know that it's toxic until it's too late. And so I'm going to give you the signs that you are in a toxic relationship. Now, I got like 10 of these. I don't know if I'm going to give you all of them, but I'm going to give you some of them. All right. Here's number one. This is a combo. This is a combo formula. All right. How will you know it's toxic? It's love bombing / ghosting. So this is super toxic. When I tell you it's super deadly, here's why. Because you ever meet somebody and they love bomb you. Love bombing is when a person is emotionally, I call them emotional grenades. They tell you everything you want to hear. You get the wake up call. Hey, love. They tell you all of the things. They listen to. That's why I always tell people, stop telling everybody so much, telling them what you like, what you need, all of that stuff. There is a formula to dating. And then because the true manipulator, the true controller, the true narcissist will listen. They listen for the things that you desire, right? And what they do is they become a chameleon and they begin giving you that. They begin saying those things. And then they start hurling love bombs. Okay. Love bombs are to do one thing. Love bombs are only to do, their only mission is to get you emotionally connected to them so that they have a measure of control over you. That's what it is. Period. It is to get you. Love bombing's only purpose is to get you emotionally connected so that they have a measure of control over you. All right. And then once they get the measure of control over you, then what they do is they pull the love bombing away, right? Right? And then they start ghosting you. They don't call you as much. They don't say. Now, true ghosting, I call this a hybrid ghosting. True ghosting is when they disappear completely. Boom. No explanation. They don't know nothing. You just know they were here today, gone tomorrow. But the hybrid ghosting works a little different. The hybrid, and y'all, Coach Ken came up with this. Hybrid ghosting is when they pull back, right? They call it breadcrumbing. They call it breadcrumbing, right? But I have another name for breadcrumbing. And what they do is they give you just enough to keep you on the hook. Because remember, they've already gotten you emotionally connected. And then once they get you emotionally connected, what they do is they pull back, they begin to breadcrumb you, right? For lack of a better word, I'll use breadcrumbing. And we'll get to ghosting in a minute. But love, I call breadcrumbing a hybrid of ghosting. It's a hybrid because they're not completely gone, but they moved away from you just enough and giving you just enough so that you keep the emotional connection, so that you keep doing what it is I want you to do. Whatever it is I want you to do, you continue to do it. Now, that is toxic. You know why it's toxic? You know why it begins to poison you? Because when they begin to breadcrumb and pull away, your central nervous system, your emotions, and uh, you begin thinking, what did I do? Because you don't know what happened. You begin thinking, well, what happened? What happened? He was all in. He was liking me. Did I do something? And then what your brain begins to do is to question everything that happened. And now, because he love bombed you so much, you're trying to get back to the place where you were. And that's when it becomes toxic because now you can't make it back. Now the person keeps saying, nah, I ain't really interested. And you're wondering, what happened? They're like, I ain't trying to be serious right now. When at first you thought they were trying to be serious. And that is in itself so very toxic. So very toxic, y'all. And so what I teach my people, and I'm teaching them in the class right now, for those of you who want to join my 8-week class called Just Ask, how the right questions will reveal the right partner. I teach them how not to become a victim of this toxicity. And if you hang tough, if you hang loose till the end, I'm going to show you how you can join my 8-week masterclass of teaching people how to do that. Okay. Now, the second part, these are not in any particular order, but the second toxic formula, toxic mix, is when your partner has an over excessive need to monitor your moves. Where are you? What you doing? You didn't call me. Okay. Now some of y'all do this. Now, but here's why it becomes toxic. Because when the other person, they say, where you at? Where's your phone? You have your, and everything that the person, they have a need to know everything. They have a need to know where you are. They have a need to know who called you. They have a need to know why are you spending time doing this and that. They have a need to know, and this need to know becomes obsessive. And some of you may be like that, but I'm just giving y'all the formula tonight. And so, how you know that something becomes toxic because it begins to poison you. All right. But, and so Rose says, I mean, that happens to women a lot because of all the things the man has already done to them, or the man did to them. And that could be true. That could be true. I'm not saying that you're trying. That could be true because, and then a lot of people do it because of their attachment style, because their attachment style is anxious and they have to know. But here's the thing, bro. After a while, it doesn't matter why you did it. It just matters the effect of it. It has become toxic in the relationship. That is the reason why I tell people, if you have an attachment style, an anxious attachment style, or an avoidant dismissive, or an avoidant anxious attachment style, you gotta get work. You gotta get help. So it doesn't matter. A lot of times we get caught up in why a person does it. And then the truth of the matter is, we need to get caught up the fact that the person does it and what it's doing to the relationship. So I just wanted to tell you that, Ro. All right. Number three, why your partner, how do you know it's toxic? Number three, your partner isolates you, wants to isolate you from your friends, from your family, from people who are close to you. Now, why is this toxic? Okay, on its face, it just you're like, okay, I know why that's toxic, but here's why it's toxic. Because the very thing that made you you was the social interaction you had with the people around you. Okay, your friends, your family. Those are the things. We're social creatures, social beings. Those are the things that cultivated your personality. Those are the things that help you be who you are today. Now, if the other person attempts to strip you of that, then you have to fundamentally become someone new. You have to fundamentally isolate yourself to accommodate the other person. And when you do that, it becomes poisonous. It becomes poisonous to your mental and your emotional well being. And what the person does is they'll say something like this: well, why you got to hang out with your mom and them? Why you got to go with them? Why can't it just be me and you? And you think, and many times what we do is we tell ourselves, oh, they want to just be with me. And we make ourselves feel like, or we tell ourselves a certain thing. We tell ourselves a story so that our brain can accept it. And when we do that, that's when it becomes toxic. When you have told your brain that it is okay to isolate oneself from your family, from your friends, then that is when it becomes toxic. Wee. Now, number four, I'm not gonna give all of y'all these tonight. If you want the rest of them, I'm gonna give you a couple more. But if you want the rest of them, I want you to come join my Just Ask. We already got like 20 or 30 new people. I think we got 50 people in it. It's an 8-week masterclass. And I am teaching people not only how to date, how to vet people, how to ask questions in a way that so now nobody can get over on you. You might think, oh, I don't know about that, coach. Well, then you need to come to class. But let's say you're in a relationship and the connection may not be what it once was. Well, if you come to class, I'm going to show you how to reconnect with asking questions. Y'all, questions are so powerful, but 9 out of 10 people don't know how to ask them. 9 out of 10 people ask them based on interrogating the person. Okay, how much money do you make? Okay, how many kids you got? Okay, how many, where did you go to school? All of these things. And what you're doing is you're asking conscious questions. Well, what I want to teach you is a concept called asking subconscious questions. Now, some of you have heard this concept before, but most of you have never heard it in context of a relationship. And a subconscious, for instance, let me teach you something real quick. So let's say you meet somebody, okay? And and you want to know really what kind of relationship they got with their family or their mother or their father, right? But you don't want to just say what kind of relationship you got with your father, because most of us don't fundamentally know the purpose of dating. I'm going to teach you that. Dating, the purpose of dating, y'all, is to collect data, to determine if the other person is in alignment with you. And so the only way you know that is you begin to uncover the layers, peel back the layers so that you can find out who the true person is. So one question that I asked somebody recently that I told one of my students to ask, I said, if you want to know something about a person and how they feel about their mother, so I said, I want you to ask them this, okay? Ask them, you know what? If you think about your relationship with mother, what was one thing that you and your mother had a piece of adversity that you shared together, that you got through together, and it helped you become the man you are today? Well, that's not a conscious question. That's a subconscious question, because to answer the question, the person has to go into their subconscious mind. And y'all, when you begin asking questions like this, you begin getting to know the person on the deeper level. And then you don't get into toxic relationships like the ones that you're in right now. Oh, Coach, you on fire tonight. I'm on fire. But I didn't want to yell. I didn't want to jump through. I didn't want to start just going crazy. So I wanted to take the slow road home today. And so I wanted to teach you about these toxic relationships. But part of understanding or avoiding them, part of avoiding the toxic relationships is understanding how to ask questions, understanding how to get below the surface, understanding how to spot the things that are not in alignment with you. That is how you avoid it. But because we rely on our emotions so much, we just think, "Ooh, they make me feel good. They make as my wife say, ooh, they make my liver quiver." And the truth of the matter is the very thing that'll make your liver quiver, that'll make your heart break. I'm just being honest. And when you don't understand how to do it, when you don't understand how to connect on a deeper level without relying on your emotions, you're going to keep getting the same results. There are people, y'all, that I coach. There are people that listen to me, and you know that you need to do something. You know you need to do something different, but you'll listen to Coach Ken and you'll listen to a million other people out there that are just feeding you information. And you are a consumer of information, but it doesn't move the needle anywhere closer to you solving the problem that you have or solving the challenge that you have. And so what I tell people is this, y'all: stop searching. And I'm gonna give you this principle. And here's the principle. I wrote about this in a book that I wrote years ago called Destination Transformation. And in the book, I said there were 5 steps to transformation. And I said, step 3 is open your mind, then close it. I said, step 3 is open your mind and close it. And when I used to go around the country speaking I remember Blue Cross Blue Shield hired me to go to all their major hubs. And I would tell them this: whenever you want to transform in any part of your life, I said, yes, it's okay to search for information. It's okay to finally find some, but when you find something that resonates with you first open your mind to all different types of ways to do it. But once you find something, find a coach that resonates with you. Find somebody that's going to teach you. Close your mind. Open it, then close it. because now, and focus on that one thing. Master it. Become a master. Master, y'all, because here's the thing. It's all about mastery. You know what? And so I was teaching in my academy, and not in my academy. I'm sorry, in my communication mastermind. I have a communications mastermind, and there are only 7 people in it because it's a mastermind. It's intense. And I told them mastery is execution without the use of conscious resources. Now I didn't make that up. I got this from Byron Golden. It was amazing when I heard it. Mastery. What's up? Darcy, one of my greatest students ever. Mastery is execution without the use of conscious resources. It means that you can execute, you can do something without using your conscious mind. It becomes natural to you. It has become so natural to you that you have mastered it. And so that's what I tell people, y'all. For those people, there are people who will listen to me, who will listen to other people, but will never do the things they need to do to master the thing they need to master. That's it. But anyway, I'm gonna give you the last two things that you know your relationship is toxic. With I think number 5, with the person when it's always your fault. When it's always your fault, y'all, and some of you might be thinking it's always their fault. Whenever the one person or another blames everything on the other person, that is toxic, because nobody is ever always at fault. So the truth of the matter is, yes, they might be responsible for more things, but we have to be willing to take responsibility and accountability for our part in it, y'all. Did any of y'all see the show that I'm on Tuesday night called Unfaithful Caught in the Act? It was a good show. I don't know if you saw the show. And one of the things they did not show is when I was talking to the young lady that cheated, and she began to make all of the excuses why she cheated. But the camera didn't show this. But I told her, I said, I don't care what you say. I get it. You're like, oh, he didn't do this or he didn't do that. But I said, but you have to be willing to take responsibility and accountability for your actions, for what you did. And I told PT the same thing. Maybe he didn't cheat, but there were things that you can learn from this and say, you know what, I need to do better. We just look at the act. And I often tell Tammy, every time when we catch somebody, I often tell Tammy, I said, Tammy, I said, nothing happens in a vacuum. She'll bring it up to me. I said, there's always a cause and effect. The cause and effect may be something that we don't want to deal with, but there's always a cause and effect. And so, y'all, I'm just saying, Tuesday night, 9:00, y'all, Unfaithful Caught in the Act, Coach Ken, Coach Star on the show. I ain't the main star, but that's all right, I'm a co-star. Hit TV show. And the last thing is this, not the last one, but the last thing I'm gonna share tonight is this. How do you know you're in a toxic relationship? Is when your communication is disrespectful. Whenever you're communicating and the communication always ends up being disrespectful, that tells me that the boundaries have been crossed. That tells me that most you and the other person are not great communicators. And y'all, whenever you communicate with somebody in that way, it begins to poison toxicity, your mental and emotional well-being. Do you know the truth is that 98% of people are not good communicators? And it's no fault. Many times it's no fault of your own because we've never been taught how to communicate. We've never been taught. You ever notice how we get in relationships? Nobody teaches us how to communicate. We just think if we rely on our emotions and we rely on our feelings, it's going to work out. because I love the person, because I love you, it's going to work out. Y'all, we would not have over 53% divorce rate if love was just enough. Love is not enough, y'all. It never will be enough. Now, that's why you need tools. You need tools. You need to know how to communicate. You need to know conflict resolution. How do I work through this? If you don't know it, the truth is it can never work for you. And that's why I did the Just Ask class. And the class is called Just Ask, how the right questions can reveal the right partner. And the truth is, I'm teaching people how to get deeper. I'm teaching people when you're dating how to vet people, how to get deeper and find out what a person's core value is. We had week 1 already, and it was fire. Week 2, it's 8-week masterclass. Week 2 coming up this Sunday. I know it's Easter, y'all. I know. But at 8:30 at night, I decided I'm teaching anyway. God, thank you for giving me the ability to teach. I'm going to church. I'm going to worship with my family. But the truth of the matter is, somebody needs help. And I'm going to be your ram in the bush. And so it's only $10 per class. $10. Cheapest I ever done it. But I just believe, I think we got 25 new people. We got 50 total, over 50 in the class. And for those of you who really know that you need to change your communication, and then you're in a relationship and you want to connect on a deeper level, let me show you how to do that. And you're dating, but you don't know. You keep picking the wrong person or keep picking the same person. Let me show you how to stop doing that. And for those of you who want to join the class, right, I'm going to just say this and I'm going to get off. For those of you on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, or TikTok, if you're on TikTok and YouTube, the first thing, or Facebook, I want you to go to my bio. You see my name up there, go to my bio. And in my bio, you will see my link tree. Click my link tree, and you will see where it says Just Ask 8-week Masterclass. Click it and you can join it. And I just put up, I think you can pay for it for the whole time if you want to, or you can pay it's $10 a week. Now, what I would also say is this class is based on my best-selling book. The book, I got a book, the Just Ask ebook. Now, this ebook is my best-selling book. I've sold thousands of copies, and I decided to teach based on the book. And so you can get the book there. You don't have to get the book. But the cool thing is, not only did I do the book, but I did the audio version of the book too. So you get both of them. You can get the book and the audio version of it. For those of you who want that for class, but let me tell y'all something. This class is going to change some people's life. Yeah, it might change yours. Now, y'all don't stop listening every week, everything, and you know you need to change. You know you need to do something different. You know, God knows. And you've been praying. You've been saying, God, help me. And then God sends you around the bush. But it don't look like what you think it's going to look like. It looks like me. It looks like Coach Rose. It looks like the coaches in my academy. But you don't want to do the work. You don't want to do the work. And because you don't want to do the work, you know what happens? What happens is you keep going through the same thing. Okay. Unfortunately, Destiny, not a physical copy. It is an ebook, which you can print out. It's not a physical copy, and it's an audio book, which you have that. Yes, Lady EM, this is ministry. It is a ministry. It is, the Bible says we all are ministers of the gospel. This is my ministry. Listen, I'm not your typical pastor because I might cuss every now and then, but the truth is, I am I want to help people. My mission in life is to change people's lives, period. And that's what I'm here to do. So for those of you who want to sign up for the class, go to my bio, click on the link here. Coach Rose, she put the link for if you're on Facebook. And so I'm going to put the link for those on YouTube. I'm going to put the link on those on YouTube. There it is. Y'all can see that. That's the link right there. That is the link for the Just Ask class. It's $10 a week, y'all. $10. If you can't put $10 into yourself, then I get it. I get it. Then I can't help you. All right. No, no. I mean, if you're in the class, no, same link, same link, and you good to go. All right, y'all. That is my time. That is my time. I am good. Oh, by the way, if you don't, if you're not sure, you get hung up and you still want to go, email me at coachkencanyon@gmail.com. And here's what I will do. What I will do is this right here. If you want, you can order on that page, you can order the book and the audio. But if you decide, hey, coach, I don't necessarily want to come to class, but I want to order the book and audio, email me and I'll still give it to you at a discount for this week because it's normally $75 for both of them. I will give it to you for $50. But you got to email me at coachkencanyon@gmail.com and I'll tell you how to do it. Now, if you join the class, you'll see on the link how you can get the book at the discount too if you join the class. All right. All right, y'all. That is my time. I appreciate all of you all. Thank you for joining me. And tomorrow night will be my last night of going live this week. Until then, y'all, peace. I'm out.